Hello, welcome to Kelly's Corner. In this video, I am going to show you how to cut multiple layers of fabric with a Cuttlebug and a Sizzix die. I am going to be using my pink Cuttlebug, a die, and 2 B plates. Here is a close-up of the die that I am going to be using. It is a 4.5 inch square by Sizzix. First, you need to iron your fabric. You will get a better cut if there are no wrinkles in the fabric. After ironing, you need to fold your fabric in half like this. Then fold it again like this. Now we are going to fold it 3 ways from side to side. To do this, fold the left side in 1/3 of the way. And then fold the right side in 1/3 of the way over the left side that you've already folded over. You are going to have a little extra hanging over to the left. That is okay, just leave it like this, but just make sure you fold the inside all the way in. Here's the Cuttlebug sandwich that I made. It consists of a B plate on the bottom, then your die, then your fabric, and then another B plate. Make sure your fabric is folded correctly and not hanging over the edges of the plates. Also make sure that the extra piece of fabric that you had when you were folding your fabric is not hanging over too much when you put it through your Cuttlebug. In this photo, it shows that little piece of fabric hanging over, but that should be okay. This is not very much. Next, I'm going to show you a video of me using my Cuttlebug and cutting the fabric with the Sizzix die. You'll notice in the video how I have my Cuttlebug good and sturdy, but then it moves, and that is because the sandwich is really thick and harder to get through. Okay, here it goes. The Cuttlebug is good and sturdy. It is not moving, but this sandwich is really thick. I'm going to try to squish it through this Cuttlebug, but I'm having a little bit difficult time at first, and I have to hold it down because it's thick. The sandwich is thick. There are 12 layers of fabric in that, but I'm getting it through, and it seems to be working. And I'm taking it apart, and you'll see all that I've got. Let me move my Cuttlebug out of the way. My son's videotaping this. He's 15. Okay, I'm going to separate the layers that actually did cut. Some of the layers didn't go through and cut, but most of them did, so I'm really happy about that. I'm wanting to make a quilt with these pieces that I cut, and I've got 5 different patterns of fabric to use. This is just one of them. Now this actually cut 10 layers of fabric really well. There were 2 more layers that did not cut all the way around, but it did most of those 2. and you'll see. Turned out really well. Sorry for this photo being blurry. I still think you can see though that it is cut almost all the way around. I know you can't see the right side of the squares, but I know you can see the other sides pretty well. Here's a photo of all the layers it cut. You'll notice to the left there are 10 layers that cut great, and then to the right there are 2 layers that didn't cut very well. The 2 squares on the right, the one on the bottom, it cut almost all the way through except for one little bitty section, and that's not bad to me. The one on the top just had 2 sections that did not cut very well. They were maybe an inch or so each section that didn't cut, but that's still not bad for that many layers. Here are the first 2 squares that I cut with that Sizzix die and using my Cuttlebug. Here is the second set of squares that I cut out with it. This time I cut out 9 squares completely and 3 that did not cut all the way through. But it cut them pretty good, as you can see in this photo. Here are the 9 squares that were cut out great out of this fabric. Look at all the squares that I have cut out already, and I am not even halfway finished cutting out all that I need to cut out. My Cuttlebug and my Sizzix square die are really going to save me a lot of time cutting out these fabric squares. Here is the second time that I cut some squares with this die through my Cuttlebug, and there's also 12 layers of fabric here also, and you'll see the Cuttlebug, I'm having trouble, and the Cuttlebug is moving even though it was actually sturdy at first, but it's just because it's so thick, and it does work. Now here it goes through really easy because I took one of the B plates off or out, and I went back to having both B plates, and of course it's difficult to get going, but it does work. See, it went all the way through, and it did cut most of them. And I'm taking them off here, off the die. My son's videotaping this one also. You can see it cut most of them except for 3 squares, and that's still not bad. I put this fabric cutting video last because the other video was a lot better. I'm just laying them out here, counting them and seeing whichever one, how many I've got cut. It actually cut 9 squares this time, and 3 it cut most of them, just leaving a little section that did not cut. 9 layers of fabric or less would be what I would do next time. Thank you for watching my video here at Kelly's Corner.